What's up everybody, I'm Sean and I am the best web developer in this video. And today we're talking about protecting your website from the bad guys. This is the 10th and final video, for now anyway, in a series on how to build a website with your own custom code, not using WordPress or another content management system. And if you missed the previous 9 videos, check them out, they're all on the channel. Now, the first and most basic thing that you need to do to make sure that your website is safe is to use HTTPS instead of HTTP. As I mentioned in previous videos, HTTPS does essentially the same thing as HTTP, but over a secure and encrypted connection. Users are now accessing your website with an SSL certified, which means secure sockets layer, certified encrypted connection. As I mentioned before, HTTPS is pretty much the standard used on most modern websites now, and depending on what browser you use, I for example usually surf the web with Google Chrome browser, you may have even seen up in the corner by the URL bar, sometimes it'll say not secure. This alerts you that you are accessing that website via a non-secure, non-encrypted connection. It tells you, for example, that you shouldn't enter credit card information or sensitive data into that website. And making your website HTTPS instead of HTTP is super simple. It's typically a one-step configuration with most hosting providers to get an SSL certificate and secure your website. Now, another basic thing you need to do is create strong, secure passwords for accessing your web hosting service, your cPanel, your backend database if you have one, etc., etc. As website users, we all hear all the time about creating strong and secure passwords, and all that stuff applies, and even more importantly, when you're building a website as opposed to just using websites and creating usernames and passwords. Now, 2 big ways that your sites are going to get hacked, and by that I mean they're never going to get hacked because you're watching this video series and you're going to take the courses down below and protect yourself, but cross-site scripting and SQL injection. Cross-site scripting is when attackers inject client-side scripts into web pages viewed by other users. SQL injection is when an attacker inserts a malicious SQL query into an input area of a website, which then executes a malicious SQL command in the database. So how do we prevent these things from happening? Well, we do things like escaping, validating, and sanitizing user input and SQL queries. Let me give you an example of what this means. When you build a website that has input fields that users can enter information into, you want to make sure that they can't enter, for example, any typical HTML characters, like the left or right arrow that open and close HTML tags. If users are allowed to use those characters, then an attacker could go in there and input some HTML code that displays an inappropriate message or something like that to the other users of your website. Now, if you watch the previous video on PHP, there's a PHP function called HTML entities that's going to take care of a lot of this stuff for you. And this same basic concept of making sure that users aren't allowed to enter certain characters in the input fields obviously also applies to login usernames and passwords, email addresses, etc. And aside from cross-site scripting and SQL injection, you just need to take a lot of basic precautions to make sure your website is safe. Obviously, don't allow non-trusted users to access your database or to write code for you, etc., etc. I've got a link down below to a course called Hack Yourself First. That's going to give you all sorts of details on how to keep your website safe. As I mentioned before, these videos are not full tutorials. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see full tutorials on any of these subjects, please, and maybe we can do that in a future video series. To sum things up, some of the basic ways to keep your website safe. Use HTTPS instead of HTTP. Create strong and secure passwords. Don't trust untrusted users with your database or website code. Strong code to prevent cross-site scripting and SQL injection. And of course, by visiting tomorrows-campus.com. I know that just by going to our website, that's not going to keep your website safe in and of itself, but you will find a search function with over 1,000 web development courses on all subjects. I've said it before, we're not talking about just building websites, we're talking about mobile app development, AI, machine learning, game development, front and back end programming, all sorts of stuff. Check it out in the link below, tomorrows-campus.com. So that is it, my fellow web geniuses. That is the end of this video series. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed it and it's been useful for you. There certainly will be more content coming out soon. Not sure exactly what yet. Like I said, leave a comment down below if you'd like to see any specific content from us. Drop a thumbs up, please, if you like the video or if you like the series. Hit that subscribe button because, like I said, I know there's going to be more coming soon. Check out tomorrows-campus.com and go out there and save the world with the amazing code that you write every day. See you guys later.